Hello, and welcome to the AI Lab by Optas.ai. This is episode 8, and today we're talking about 10 ways to use AI to be more productive at work. Starting today, AI is no longer just something for tech teams or future planning. It is already becoming part of how people write, organize, research, communicate, and manage everyday tasks at work. In this episode, we'll look at practical ways AI can help you save time, reduce repetitive work, and make your day a little easier and more efficient. Let's get into it.
You are going to spend probably about 3 hours today doing absolutely nothing of real value.
Yeah, that sounds about right for most of us.
And the worst part is, it has nothing to do with being lazy. It is literally just because you are trapped.
Trapped by the busy work.
Exactly. I mean, picture this. You sit down at your desk, you've got your coffee in hand, and you're completely ready to tackle that massive strategic project.
The one that actually matters.
Right, the one that could actually move the needle for your career. But first, you decide to, quickly clear out your inbox.
Famous last words.
Always. And then you realize you have to format a weekly report. Oh, and then you need to dig through yesterday's messy meeting notes to figure out who is supposed to email the client.
And suddenly it's 2 p.m.
Yes. Suddenly it's 2 in the afternoon, your coffee is completely cold, your brain is totally fried, and you haven't even touched the real work.
It is the universal paradox of the modern knowledge worker,
It
honestly.
really is.
We are hired for our brains, for our creativity and strategic thinking. But we spend the vast majority of our day managing work, preparing to work, and organizing work, rather than actually doing it.
That routine admin work just completely suffocates high-value output, and that is exactly what we are dismantling in today's deep dive.
We've got a really good one today.
We do. We are looking at a comprehensive, incredibly practical guide titled The 10 Best Ways to Boost Productivity with AI.
It's a great piece of source material.
Yeah, and the mission for you, the listener, is really simple today. We are going to take the insights from these sources and show you how to claw back anywhere from 30 minutes to several hours of your day.
Starting today.
Starting today, exactly, with absolutely zero technical background required. Okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even begin with a behavioral shift this massive?
Well, to set the stage properly, we really need to understand the fundamental philosophy behind these tools. The goal here isn't just to type faster or process busy work at a higher speed.
Because then you're just doing more busy work.
Exactly. If you do that, you just end up drowning faster. The core shift highlighted in the guide is moving your identity from being a creator who generates everything from scratch to acting as an editor and a decision maker.
I want to pause on that because it feels like a really crucial distinction. Creator to editor. It reminds me of how you would treat like an eager, lightning-fast intern.
Oh, that's a perfect way to look at it.
Right, like the intern goes out, gathers the raw materials, pulls the data, and writes the very rough first draft. But you are the senior manager.
You're the one steering the ship.
Yeah, you review the intern's work, you inject the nuance, you ensure it aligns with the broader strategy, and you approve it. The intern isn't there to replace your judgment, they are there to do the legwork so your judgment can actually shine.
That analogy perfectly captures the dynamic. And, well, the most immediate place to deploy that intern is against the most universal time sink we all face, which is staring at a blank page.
Ugh, the blinking cursor.
The blinking cursor of doom, yeah. The cognitive friction required to go from that cursor to a complete first draft, whether that is a project proposal, a status update, or just a sensitive email, is enormous.
It takes so much activation energy.
It really does. But the research we're looking at, specifically data from McKinsey, shows a massive reduction in that friction.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
By giving an AI tool a structured brief, you can reduce drafting time by 40 to 50%.
Wait, 40 to 50%?
Yes, half your time back.
Half your time back just by offloading the hardest part of writing, which is starting. That is huge.
What's fascinating here is how simple the shift is. But you have to do it right.
Well, let's get practical for a second then. When the guide says giving an AI tool a brief, what does that actually look like in practice for someone using, say, Claude or ChatGPT?
It means treating the AI like you would that human intern. You don't just say, write an email to marketing.
Because it'll just give you a generic, robotic email.
Right, you provide context. You define the purpose, the desired tone, the core constraints, and the target audience.
Okay, so give me an example.
So you say, draft a 200-word email to the marketing team explaining the new Q3 budget cuts. Keep the tone professional but empathetic. Emphasize that no jobs are at risk, but software spending is being frozen.
Ah, so you're giving it the boundaries.
Exactly. The AI then builds the structural scaffolding of that message in seconds.
So you aren't asking it for a final publishable masterpiece. You just need it to build a competent framework that you can tweak.
Yes, you become the editor.
And that applies heavily to the biggest black hole of all, which is email. The sources cite that professionals spend an average of 2 to 3 hours a day just dealing with correspondence.
Which is staggering when you consider what else could be done with that time. I mean, 2 to 3 hours is a huge chunk of your day.
It's basically a part-time job just answering emails.
Exactly. But tools like Microsoft Copilot, which sits right inside Outlook, or similar features in Gemini and Superhuman, are changing the mechanics of inbox management entirely.
How so?
They actually read the incoming thread, they understand the context of the conversation, and they offer to draft a contextual reply for you.
So the guide mentions people saving 45 to 90 minutes a day just on routine correspondence, the meeting confirmations, the quick status updates.
Yeah, the stuff that doesn't really need your deep cognitive focus.
Right. But let me challenge this a bit, specifically on the reading side. Writing a short email is one thing, but what about summarizing?
Summarizing is where the heavy lifting really happens.
Well, the text mentions an example of a project manager uploading 3 weeks of messy meeting notes to an AI, like tools like Notebook LM or Copilot, and getting a list of open action items by owner in under 2 minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes.
If I am managing a critical project, how is a machine digesting 40 pages of context in 3 seconds without missing the one crucial detail that, derails the whole project?
It's a completely fair question. I mean, the instinct is to think of the AI skimming the document the way a human would when they're rushed.
Yeah, like skipping paragraphs, looking for bold text, missing nuance.
Right, but that is not how the underlying technology actually works. When you upload a document to a robust tool like Claude, it places the entire text into its active memory, which is often called its context window.
Okay, its context window.
Yeah, and it analyzes the mathematical relationships between every single word simultaneously. It isn't skimming it all. It is processing the entirety of the document at once.
So it's less like a human speed reading and more like someone taking a mental photograph of the entire document and being able to instantly search every pixel of that image.
That is a really great way to visualize it. And because it holds the whole document in its working memory, you can query it.
Like having a conversation with the document.
Exactly. You don't just ask for a generic summary, you interrogate the text. You can say, list every commitment made by the engineering team in these notes, along with the proposed deadlines.
And it just finds them all.
Yeah, the AI extracts that specific thread from the fabric of the document instantly.
Okay, so we've wrangled the inbox, and we aren't spending our mornings reading 40-page reports. But nature abhors a vacuum.
It sure does.
Freeing up that time usually exposes a darker problem in corporate life. If you aren't buried in email, people just fill your new free time with more meetings.
Oh, the meeting trap. It is the second massive barrier to real work that the guide addresses.
It's the worst.
And the problem with meetings isn't just the time spent on the call itself. It is the sheer lack of preparation beforehand and the vague, panic-inducing recollections of what was actually decided afterward.
Yeah, I think we have all been in a situation where a meeting ends, everyone nods, and 2 days later, nobody has any idea who was supposed to execute the next step.
AI flips both ends of that equation. On the preparation side, you can feed an AI the past notes, the client history, and the relevant documents and ask it to prep a briefing document.
Like giving it to that intern again.
Right. It can generate talking points, remind you of key context, and crucially anticipate objections the client or the internal team might raise during the meeting.
You essentially have an invisible chief of staff briefing you before you walk into the room.
Yeah, exactly. And then post-meeting, the automation really takes over. The source text highlights transcription tools like Fireflies.ai or Otter.ai.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, and these don't just generate a flat transcript, they analyze the conversation as it happens.
The guide uses a very specific example here, doesn't it?
It does. A sales team uses Fireflies to join their client calls as a silent participant.
Just a little bot on the Zoom call.
Yep. As soon as the call ends, the AI generates a structured summary, extracts the promised action items, and automatically pushes all of that data directly into their CRM.
Quick pause for those who might not live in sales departments. When we say CRM, we're talking about customer relationship management software. Basically, the company's digital Rolodex and sales tracker, like Salesforce.
Yes, thank you for clarifying that. So instead of a salesperson hanging up the phone and spending 20 minutes doing manual data entry into Salesforce, the system just updates itself.
Nobody is typing up notes from memory.
Nobody. It's done.
Now, this brings us to task management, and this is where I really need to push back a little bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
The sources talk about tools like Motion or Reclaim.ai or Asana that use AI to automatically schedule your day. The guide says they prioritize your tasks, shuffle your calendar around those meetings we just talked about, and essentially tell you what to do next.
They do, yeah.
I have to be honest, if I let an algorithm take over my calendar and dictate my to-do list, don't I lose control of my own day?
It feels that way at first.
It sounds less like being an editor and more like being a robot blindly following algorithmic orders.
I hear that resistance a lot, but the reality of using these tools is entirely different. To understand why, we have to talk about mental RAM.
Mental RAM, like computer memory.
Exactly. Think of your working memory, your mental RAM, as a battery that depletes every single time you make a decision.
Decision fatigue.
Right. The mental energy it takes just to look at your calendar, look at your massive to-do list, and decide, okay, I have 45 minutes before my next call. What is the single most important thing I can fit into this window?
Oh, I hate that feeling.
That constant negotiation drains your battery before you even start the actual work.
It's the fatigue of managing the work rather than doing the work.
Exactly that. By removing the mental overhead of scheduling, these tools actually empower better human judgment on the tasks themselves.
How does that look in practice?
Well, the text offers an example of a freelance consultant using Motion. They input their deadlines and estimated task durations just once.
Okay.
The AI then auto-schedules their client work, fits in their administrative time, and builds dedicated focus blocks around their hard meetings.
So the consultant isn't losing control. They are outsourcing the jigsaw puzzle of scheduling.
They gain focus. They aren't wasting a single drop of energy deciding when to work. They sit down, the calendar says draft Q3 strategy, and they put all their energy into the strategy itself.
It protects their deep work time from being fragmented by indecision.
Exactly.
You are handing over the logistics so you can protect the creativity. That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of creativity and deep work, this next section of the guide is genuinely the most exciting part.
It really is.
Because once you've reclaimed all these hours from emails, from data entry, from calendar Tetris, you suddenly have the bandwidth to punch entirely above your weight class.
Yes, the guide calls this the democratization of expertise.
This is a profound shift. We're moving beyond simple efficiency, doing things faster, and entering the realm of true capability expansion.
AI allows a single individual to tackle complex, intimidating tasks that would typically require specialized training or, bringing in a completely different department.
Let's use data analysis as the prime example.
Oh, this is a great one.
For a massive portion of the workforce, myself included, working with data usually means exporting a giant CSV file, which is just a basic unformatted spreadsheet, and then spending hours trying to remember Excel formulas.
I'm Googling how to build pivot tables.
Yes, and inevitably breaking the formatting. It feels more like archaeology than actual analysis.
It is incredibly tedious and prone to human error. But the guide illustrates how you can bypass all of that.
How?
You can take that raw data file and upload it to ChatGPT using a feature called Code Interpreter. Or you can use a specialized tool like Julius AI. And instead of writing formulas, you just ask questions about the data in plain English.
But wait, for someone who hears Code Interpreter and assumes they need to know how to write software, what does that actually mean under the hood? Like, how is the AI figuring out the answer without me writing a formula?
It's a brilliant mechanism. When you ask a question in plain English, the AI doesn't just try to guess the answer by reading the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Code Interpreter essentially gives the AI a hidden sandbox, a virtual calculator.
Oh, interesting.
The AI translates your plain English question into a small snippet of Python code, runs that code against your data file in the background, gets the precise mathematical answer, and then translates that answer back into plain English for you.
So it's literally writing and executing a custom program in milliseconds just to answer my question.
Yes. The guide uses the example of a marketing manager looking at campaign performance. Instead of building pivot tables for an hour, they upload the data and just type which channels produce the lowest cost per lead in Q1.
And it just knows.
And within 30 seconds, the AI not only provides the answer, but it can instantly generate a bar chart visualizing that specific trend.
That is wild. And if that marketing manager then has to present that data to leadership, building the presentation used to be another massive hurdle.
Oh, staring at a blank PowerPoint is the worst.
Right, trying to figure out the structural flow, like what goes on slide 1, what goes on slide 2.
The structural scaffolding of a presentation is notoriously difficult to build from scratch.
But the text points to tools like Gamma or Beautiful.ai, which are fundamentally changing this process, cutting prep time by 50 to 70%.
Huge time savings.
But how do they actually know what makes a compelling slide deck, though? Are they just applying pretty templates?
It goes deeper than templates. These models have been trained on millions of corporate presentations, pitch decks, and narratives.
So they understand the flow.
Exactly. They understand the underlying architecture of a compelling story. They know that if you are doing a project proposal, slide 2 needs to define the problem, slide 3 needs to present the solution, and slide 4 needs to cover the budget. Give it a prompt detailing your audience and your key messages, and it generates that entire narrative arc slide by slide.
You just drop in the data chart you just created and apply your company's brand colors.
Yep. You are basically renting the expertise of a graphic designer and a data analyst simultaneously.
And the guide shows this extends to research and learning too. If you need to understand a complex industry trend, tools like Perplexity condense hours of searching across dozens of tabs into a single structured summary with footnoted citations.
Or you can use an AI as a private, on-demand tutor.
Yeah, the standout example in the source material features an HR manager who suddenly needed to review complex software contract clauses.
Right. Normally, a task like that requires hiring an external consultant or waiting weeks for the legal department to finally find some time.
Instead, the HR manager uploaded the contract to Claude and asked it to explain the dense legal jargon in plain, practical language.
They walked into the vendor meeting fully prepared. They temporarily gained the expertise necessary to negotiate effectively without hiring a consultant.
Here's where it gets really interesting and, well, a little dangerous.
Ah, yes, the catch.
If we are using AI to analyze critical financial data and we're relying on it to translate complex legal contracts outside our own area of expertise, how do we know it's not just confidently lying to us?
This raises an important question, and it addresses the single biggest pitfall of generative AI technology. The guide is incredibly explicit about this.
It's the hallucination problem, right?
Exactly. AI tools are prone to hallucinations. They can and will invent statistics, fabricate historical dates, or generate entirely fictional claims, and they will present those falsehoods with absolute grammatical confidence.
It goes back to the intern analogy. It's an intern who desperately wants to please you, so instead of admitting they don't know the answer, they just confidently make something up.
That is exactly what happens. Which brings us to the unbreakable rule of utilizing these tools. AI accelerates the work, but it does not replace critical thinking or the necessity of primary source verification.
Trust but verify.
Heavily verify. If the AI hands you a startling statistic for your board presentation, you must verify the source. If it interprets a contract clause, you must double-check the material facts.
You simply cannot blindly trust the output when the professional stakes are high.
The ultimate accountability still rests entirely on your shoulders. You are still the senior manager signing off on the brief.
Which leads us to the final and perhaps most complex piece of the puzzle. We've looked at all these isolated tasks, writing emails, managing meetings, querying data, generating presentations. But how do we connect them systematically?
Right, because the guide warns against just adopting 10 different tools randomly and getting overwhelmed.
Nobody wants tool fatigue.
Exactly. To avoid that digital fragmentation, the guide introduces the concept of workflow automation. This is what the source refers to as the multiplier effect.
The multiplier effect?
It's incredibly useful to have an AI draft a single email. But the real power unlocks when you use AI to run an end-to-end multi-step process completely in the background.
Okay, let's slow down here because this sounds a bit like corporate buzzword bingo.
Fair enough.
What does an end-to-end background workflow actually look like for the average person?
Well, we can look at integration platforms like Zapier, Make, or N8N. Think of these platforms as the digital plumbing inside the walls of your office.
Digital plumbing, okay.
They connect software applications that usually refuse to talk to each other, allowing them to pass information back and forth automatically based on specific triggers.
So break down a real-world example of this digital plumbing in action.
Let's map out a 5-step flow. Imagine a potential new client fills out a contact form on your website.
Okay.
That submission is the trigger. It's like someone ringing the doorbell. In the past, a human would have to see that email, research the person, type their info into a database, and reply.
A lot of manual friction.
But with digital plumbing, the automation catches that trigger instantly. Step 2. It quietly asks an AI to search the web and enrich the data about that lead, finding out what company they work for and what their role is.
Oh, wow.
Step 3. It automatically creates a detailed profile for them in your CRM. Step 4. The AI drafts a highly personalized welcome email referencing their company and sends it.
Without anyone pressing send.
And Step 5. The system pings the assigned sales rep on Slack to let them know a warm lead was just processed and puts a reminder in the rep's calendar to follow up in 3 days.
All of that happens in seconds, without a human being touching a single keyboard or clicking a single button.
Completely automated.
The guide notes that businesses implementing these background workflows are reclaiming 10 to 20 hours a week across their teams.
It entirely eradicates the manual routing of information.
But trying to build a 5-step automated system tomorrow morning is going to overwhelm almost anyone listening.
Oh, absolutely. Which is precisely why the guide concludes with 3 non-negotiable principles for getting started. They are designed to prevent that exact overwhelm.
Let's lay them out.
Principle 1. Start with one tool, one task. Do not attempt to overhaul your entire professional workflow overnight.
Just pick one thing.
Identify your single biggest daily pain point. If it's meeting preparation, just focus on solving meeting preparation. Mastering one application deeply is vastly more effective than half using 5 different tools.
Better to have one highly trained intern than 5 confused ones.
Exactly. Principle 2. AI is a collaborator, not a replacement. You must combine your human judgment, context, and empathy with the machine's speed and pattern recognition,
And principle 3.
which we explore deeply. Accuracy requires verification. Always cross-check claims before making decisions based upon them.
It is a phenomenal framework. And it highlights a trend we are seeing across the board.
What's that?
The most successful professionals right now, the ones who are vastly accelerating their careers, are not necessarily the most tech-savvy ones. Like, they aren't software engineers. They are simply the people making practical, consistent, daily integrations into their routines.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this entire transformation is really about the compounding nature of marginal gains.
Like saving 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Reclaiming 30 minutes from your inbox, an hour from a spreadsheet, 20 minutes from scheduling. It fundamentally alters the geometry of your workday.
So what does this all mean for you listening to this right now? We have covered a massive amount of territory today.
We really have.
We have gone from saving a quarter of your day by letting AI build the scaffolding for your emails to skipping the misery of pivot tables by chatting with your data in plain English.
We've explored the counterintuitive idea of auto-scheduling your calendar to protect your mental RAM.
And we've mapped out how digital plumbing can automate entire workflows while you sleep. The underlying message is that this technology is accessible, it is ready, and it is waiting for you to use it today.
And the beauty is, you do not need to implement all of it by tomorrow morning to see the benefits.
That is the perfect challenge to issue to you right now. Think about the one specific task you dread doing every single week.
Just one.
Maybe it is drafting that agonizing Friday status update or trying to summarize an endless PDF. Pick that one single use case. Pick one tool we discussed today and just try it. Give the intern one single task and see what happens.
That is the most practical starting line. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a more philosophical thought to mull over, building directly on the conclusion of our source material.
I love a good philosophical thought to end on.
We began this deep dive by talking about that feeling of sitting at your desk, completely buried in emails, formatting, and messy meeting notes. The admin trap.
The stuff that keeps us from the real work.
But consider the flip side of that reality. If these AI tools can successfully strip away all of those emails, if a machine can instantly distill the meeting notes, perfectly sort the data, and beautifully format the slide deck, what is the uniquely human value that you actually bring to your role?
Wow.
When the busy work finally evaporates, what is the deep work, the strategy, the empathy, or the creativity that genuinely requires you?
That is an incredibly provocative question to end on. Because the tools are ready to handle the busy work. The rest is entirely up to you.
Thank you for listening to episode 8 of the AI Lab. We hope this episode gave you useful ideas for how to use AI to be more productive at work starting today. Please subscribe for more, and we invite you to join our community of learners by signing up to receive your free resource guide. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to reach out to contact@Optas.ai. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the AI Lab.